Hello, and welcome to another stream of Dice Dropping Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game, The Chronicles of House Weirlight. Say hello, House Weirlight.
Hello,
Hello,
Tommy.
House Weirlight.
Hello.
Today is the big day. It is finally happening. The wedding the day of the heir of House Weirlight, Henric Weirlight, to the second daughter of House Ashford, Ashella Ashford. Like, Ashford and Weirlight can't miss. Can't miss.
It's even got a pay-per-view event.
It would.
Honestly.
It would. If this was in the modern day, it would absolutely have a pay-per-view event. But it is finally the culmination of such a grand and glorious day for House Weirlight. But before that, we're going to zoom in on this lovely little moment. We hear birds chirping, birds of so many different kinds and genuses, in what looks like an absolutely lovely garden. And we sort of recognize the crisp white marble of the walls around us as we recognize this is High Garden. And this looks like a lovely garden terrace within High Garden. And like we hear laughter sounds like two women of varied ages. As we kind of zoom in within this garden terrace, we see this small thing set for tea. You know, there's tea and like a small stand of lemon cakes and macaroons and other just sort of small edible delectables, along with a very nice tea set set out. The sun is shining. It's an absolutely perfect and glorious day, and we hear this laughter ringing out, and it's sort of the laughter that's fairly loud is sort of an older woman. She's just like very witty, Mariella, excellent. And we zoom in and we see a face that none of us have seen before, not been properly introduced to yet. She is an elderly woman wearing a very elegant emerald habit with trims of gold flecked throughout it, a large gemmed necklace of a gilded five-petaled flower, very long, very simple looking, but subtly brocaded and beautiful dress. And this very, very aged face, a woman who is clearly in the latter part of her life, and these rather piercing eyes that go along with her emerald gown, a similarly emerald-eyed woman. And across from her, also laughing, is of course who we recognize, Mariella. However, Mariella is wearing probably a very different outfit than what we've normally seen of her. She's currently not wearing the colors of her house. She's wearing a very light blue styled dress. It's very the color of the sky, nearly. And it's very much in the High Garden style of no, generally the Reach style of no sleeves, of course, but very high shoulders, deep V's, very much to show the skin, air the skin from the heat. And we probably see Mariella's hair in a style that is very much not what she normally wears. It's probably a style we've never really seen. Most of Mariella's hairstyles are, even when she wears a bit of her hair up, most of it is down to some degree. But her hair is fully up now in very intricate looking braids, all sectioned off and has flowers throughout it. And Mariella, you are laughing at something that you've just said. And you are speaking, of course, with Lady Olenna. Lady Olenna, oh my god. My brain just put it out for their surname.
Lady Olenna Tyrell.
Thank you, the Tyrells. Wow. Give me one of those days.
Was it red wine in yesteryear, but now, and has been for several decades, a Tyrell.
Yep. Most of her life a Tyrell. Also known as the Queen of Thorns. And you are having another lovely afternoon with Lady Olenna. And she laughed and goes, well, I'm so glad that you've acclimated yourself here so well. I've grown very fond of you. I'm very glad that you no longer have to be there anymore.
Well, your company is always a great improvement to others.
Like, flatterer. Yes. Like, I am, after you told me of all the things of your house and how you felt during that time, I'm very glad that you found a home here. Do you feel you found a home here, Mariella?
I've found it to be as welcoming a place as the Theoden Hall, which I was born into, which is very rare and very, very appreciated.
Nods. Well, I've always taken care of you, Mariella. I've always made sure you were comfortable. Yeah, if you feel unsure of how to respond to that,
yeah.
Why don't you make me a will test?
Would any additional things in will help me?
Do you have any specialties?
I've got dedication, and I know coordinate would not help me.
No, coordinate wouldn't help you here, but dedication would, yeah.
Cool. Dedication. An 8.
8. Are you satisfied with that?
I feel like I'm gonna need everything else later, so yeah, we'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, that sentence makes perfect sense to you then.
Cool. Yeah, I think she kind of like smiles in agreement, nod, and takes a sip of her tea. I feel like most of the conversation is about me. Hasn't anything interesting happened amongst you and your circle?
Oh, never anything too interesting. Just the same old. Most of us older people are far more interested in the lives of the younger ones of our land. So, of course, I'm going to make it more about you, and I've lived longer, so I have that right.
You have almost every right that the Seven could grant someone, my lady, but...
Vic smiles at you. And goes, tell me how you feel about your brother.
Well, I feel like he's finally deciding to act as a man grown and things rather than trying to prove it to others, which is very settling for the future of our hall and our family. And I feel that is recent question sidestep. In this scenario, he's gotten married, or
That's a good thought that comes across your mind. Actually, you're like, in your brain actually doesn't have a response for you.
we're jarring thing.
So if you would like, you can make another will dedication test.
Cool. Be better, please. Thank you.
15. Yeah. Suddenly you're like, well, now that he's and then you're like, and you can't remember him getting married, and you're like, wait, that hasn't happened. And then you sort of think,
Why am
then
I
how
here?
am I here? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think she holds it and it's like, okay, what is going on? But
Is there something wrong, dear?
no, just hoping that his future union will be as advantageous as all of us would hope.
Like advantageous, like for the family, sure, but what about you?
Well, I won't be there forever, so as much as it could be advantageous for me, it won't be my home forever.
Like, not exactly. Soon you'll be a Tyrell.
Is anything jarring for me? Because if I know Henrik hasn't gotten married yet, it's like,
Yeah, make another will dedication
okay.
test. Oh shit. Yep. Yeah, you're like, you've just now realized that you've never spoken to Lady Elena. You've seen her at a quite far distance. But you've never spoken to her in your entire life, actually. You don't know how this conversation started, and you're not sure what's going on now.
Okay. Can I remember anything like before this?
Why don't at a reduced rate, why don't you make a cunning memory test?
Okay, I do not have memory, so it'll just be cunning. But I will be spending Destiny die to add a bonus die because I feel like I'm gonna need it.
Okay.
16.
16. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's very good. Yeah, the last thing you remember is you were at Ashella's like moon party, essentially. Her dough party, as some call it. And then you felt quite strange, and you went behind a tree, and you can't remember anything, but time must have passed. I mean, it's day, and nothing is making any sense to you anymore.
So I don't remember some creepy voice saying hello, sister.
Now that you do mention it, yes, you do.
Okay. And question, did I touch the tree when I went behind the tree? I'm just trying.
Did.
Okay.
And you saw that you suddenly saw and felt more trees.
Yeah. I think she kind of like takes a moment, another sip of tea, places it down, and like kind of slightly pushes the cup saucer away. Forgive me if this seems a bit out of the blue. Did you call me sister?
So Lady Elena like freezes, but it's a very like inhuman freeze. She just goes literally so still that at a moment you're not sure what just happened. It's very disturbing.
I feel like it's on a VHS tape when like you hit like stop
Yeah.
real hard and it's like
Yeah, just like, and you're just not sure if it's paused or not. But our head comes back and it just goes, kind of looks into your eyes as she starts moving again. And the voice sounds different coming out of her, and then suddenly she freezes again, and her eyes start slowly turning what looks like red, but then something comes out of her eyes and unspirals as red flowers grow from her eye sockets.
That's not creepy at all.
And those empty Weirlight flowers, you recognize them, stare directly at you.
normally
You
if
need
you
not. Oh, sorry. No, I rather hear what you have to say.
normally if you claim to be family, introductions are made.
You need not fear me. I have always been on your side, Mariella. And I come to you now at the ebbing of things in your land, in our land, in me.
I will say again. Introductions have not been made. You apparently know me and have claimed kinship to me.
I thought I just did. Perhaps I'll be clearer.
Then what is your name?
I am the land. Your land.
So you're the Redlands.
In a way, yes. And I've always liked you more. And I come to you now. And I need your help. Your land needs your help, Mariella. And without your help, as like High Garden starts to like the lighting kind of starts to change slightly and looks like it's starting to get darker, but then light will kind of suddenly hit the sides of this thing's face. As you look around, you see the garden is on fire. And there is just fire all around you now. Goes,
I always knew that fucking rose maze was flammable. Shitty defense.
everything will burn and die and blacken. And it will cost such a very small price in comparison to the land that sustains so many people, people you love, people that love you very deeply, and all you have to do is sacrifice those who've never treated you the way you should be treated. Sacrifice a few, save the many. I feel that you are excited. to go on this new journey of yours, but you are also hesitant in many small ways. I have watched you since your entrance into this world. The true heir. Your brother, a simple ride along.
From how you speak, I'm assuming you've met others of my family.
I know of them. I have met many of them, though they have not met me. Your life matters to this land. Your brother's doesn't. He is lesser than you in all things, and yet he is heralded. He is the one gaining the dotion and ethic and love of your parents, the eyes of the rest of your family, the attention, even though they can't see, they can't know, they are ignorant. I see and I know. I do not understand what makes a man or a woman a woman. But they say only a man can inherit me, yet I have chosen a woman.
I think. Okay. Yeah, she would do this in this weird dreamscape because fuck this shit. I think she with is there still like a table or anything or
Yeah,
like okay.
there's a table. Yeah.
Are there hands on the table?
Are their hands on the
Their
table?
hands on the table.
They can be if you would
Okay.
like them to be.
Yeah, because she's gonna touch them.
Oh. Okay. Okay, yeah. And you reach out and you touch the hand, except it doesn't feel like skin. It feels like the smooth skin of like an unbarked tree. You know,
Like
when
the
the bark
revealed
is,
part of like a birch
yeah,
tree.
exactly. Yeah, when the bark comes off and it's just the soft, but still hard part underneath.
Yeah, so I think she touches and it's like, how long have you been you? And
Okay.
oh,
So,
like you
mhm.
said you've assisted my family. How long?
Yeah, so you touch them and you see that and he goes, I see. Yes, I feel that my first chosen heir has done something to you. Like, well, if you're curious, I want to show you the truth, so I will let you in. And the landscape, they disappear into like petals, essentially, and the landscape rapidly changes. And suddenly, you are standing in a castle. A castle you don't recognize. It's very dark, though. Fielden Hall has tons of massive open like windows and slits and mirrors and all these different things to make light come through the hall. This castle is stone and wood and has no windows and no anything that would sort of let light in. There's only candle and torchlight, which makes the room feel claustrophobic. it is despite the height of the hall, as you seem to be in some kind of receiving hall, far lesser than the ones you're used to. And you see there is a throne, as it were, a tall chair, more like. Um, and in front of the throne, there is a man. He is rather tall, probably around the height of your father. He has kind of a balding head. It's thin wisps of hair left. He's probably in his mid-50s. He has an incredibly long, coarse beard. The color of his hair is black. And you see these blue, beautiful eyes that are striking against his very rough, scarred face. He is wearing a long coat made out of different like velvets and silks that seem to be dyed very deep red. He has no like adornment or jewelry on him, besides what looks like a metal medallion of what looks like a shield, just a very simple shield. He is on his knees in front of a young man with the same jet black hair and the same beautiful red eyes. The boy couldn't be more than 9, 10, near to say his age. His skin is pearlescent and beautiful. He is a shining and like beautiful example of a child. It is sort of the face that would have been carved in the stained glass windows in the Sept of Baelor, just the perfect example of like innocence and child.
Sans red eyes, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. And looks. This older man looks at this boy and goes like, so you understand and ready what you're going to do. It's like, I'm going to save the family? Like, I believe, father? Like, yes, my son. You are the only one who can do it. And you have to want to do it. Do you want to save your brothers and sisters? And me? Like, yes, father, I do. Like, good lad. And pats him on the head, and then like very coldly sort of like looks away from him as if he can't quite look at him. And then he like takes the boy's back and sort of pushes him, walks him next to him. The boy looks confused and kind of scared. And you see them go down a stairway as he grabs a torch. Off of a wall, down a very thin rock stairway. You just, without want or need, you're then now just seemingly at the bottom of the stairs, watching them come down it. It looks like they went down maybe another set of stairs and past some kind of trapdoor as they're coming down a ladder. At the bottom, in the center of the room, there is something that the light can't quite reach. And the man is making no moves to get closer to it. And a voice rings out. The man's voice, and goes, "What we agreed upon is done this day, and by the blood of my family sows the strength of our land." And all you hear is what sounds like some branches rustling. And suddenly a pickup of wind in this dark underground place. And it goes, okay. And he kind of pushes just the boy forward. And the boy starts walking and then like stops near the edge of the light and looks back, and his father nods at him, and the boy walks forward, and he kind of, there's some kind of foliage in there, and he just walks through it, and then it's dead silence, and the man just turns and starts climbing the ladder, except there's then for a moment what sounds like a sharp intake of breath, and then a crunching noise, and the man like stops, takes in a deep breath, and keeps going up, and then walking out of the foliage is that same boy, and sort of looks up at you and now is regarding you, Mariella. And goes, hello.
Hello.
Do you know my name?
No, but I can give you one.
Kind of puts their head down, goes, shakes their head. No, I have a name. I've just forgotten it. I don't ever really recall my father ever saying my name.
What about your mother?
I don't know. I think I never knew her. You see, the firstborn is supposed to be given. It was supposed to be, but my father did not want to lose his heir. So I was given. I think I killed my mother when I was born.
That's not uncommon.
I was a child born of blood.
Have you
It's
been
not
down
fit.
here long?
Like, nods.
Are you tired?
I am tired of being ignored and pretended as if I don't exist. And I need help if I'm going to ever find peace. And I need your help, Mariella. You are a true heir. You can help. But at this point, for the sake of the land, all that's needed is Weirlight blood. And you are the true heir. That means you are responsible for this land. And you must help this land. All it takes is a very small amount in compared to what has been spelled. If you agree to work with me, to accept me, like, the land will be bountiful for you.
I would love an empathy check right now.
Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
Awareness, empathy, thing. 21.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah.
Spin me tails, people. Spin me tails.
Yeah, so you have no idea what is going on, but you are intelligent and you have tried to adapt to what is happening. You've always sort of had that thing in the back of your mind, always made you think that there was something different about your land, about parts of your land, that thing that always made you feel. It's the reason you always rode south to find your fun, happy places and not north. All of your favorite locations on this land are, in fact, as you think, are like southwest, southeast, and south from your house. You know, nothing you like is north of your house. And you think this is why, something about this thing. And it is saying all these things to you. And this boy, when they call you the true heir, they seem to be very genuine about that, them saying that. However, you believe in your heart of hearts that this thing talking to you does not have your best interests in mind. It is not trying to help you. It is trying to help itself. And you think it wants to use you to do that. You believe that if you agreed with this thing won't harm you in any way. However, you are getting the suspicion that it is trying to prey off of your insecurities about your family to get you to do something horrible. Or let it in. There is this sort of pressure that you didn't notice before, but you do feel now, as if someone's pushing against the other side of a door. You know, not knocking, not ringing the doorbell, but as if something doesn't want you to know that it's trying to get in.
Something trying to seep in underneath the crack of the door.
Very
Okay.
much so.
Um,
And you realize the more you talk to this thing, as you rolled very well, the more you talk to this thing at its own level, the more it's winning. As the more you're sort of buying into its narrative and talking on its level, the more it is getting inside you, whether you like it or not. And yeah, so what would you like to do?
with my roles that I have had, I recognize this as a dreamscape, correct?
You are fairly certain wherever you are isn't real. Yeah.
Cool. Would it be like a will check or something? Because I would love in my brain to light a fucking fire at the foliage that's behind it.
If you want to, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. If you're like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
You don't know if you have the ability to just spontaneously light a fire, but you do know that dude had a torch. Maybe you could have that torch.
Yeah, like,
and yeah, so yeah, this will be absolutely a will test.
would dedication still apply?
This will be a straight will test.
Straight will. 14.
Are you satisfied with 14? You can spend a Disney point to add 1 to it to make it a 15. You could do it to re-roll.
We'll do the add 1. That way I've got a 15? Solid 15.
Yeah, the TN was 15. So yeah, you manifest a torch in your hand, and the child looks frightened of that, and he goes, "See, you are far stronger than people give you credit for." What would you like to do with the torch?
I'm burning the shit.
What are you burning? Tell me specifically.
You said that, like, the basically how I'm interpreting this is he's like this child is a manifestation of like whatever the Redlands is and things and like the kind of foliage thing. So I think it's like kind of like pointing the torch at it, and it's like You've said that you've watched me and you recognize me. Then you'll know I'm also a guardian of my brother, and you have offended me and offended him.
Mhm.
So I appreciate what you say, but if you've watched me, you would know that's wrong. And
Right.
like basically toss it at him.
You toss it like at the foliage thing behind him.
Like it's like basically like I'm tossing it like either
Yeah.
like through
So
him
you
to get to it.
Yeah,
Like
you
real
you
quick.
toss the torch, it goes over his head, and you realize as the light hits him from behind, there is what looks like a root connected to his back into the foliage, and the torch just goes in and lights up, and a scream, a horrifying scream, one that will haunt your nightmares forever. Just and just erupts, and you, for just the flashest of a moment, see a tall figure made of plant matter, not really humanoid at all. All over its bodies are openings that look like possibly empty-eyed screaming mouths, and horrible nods and nodes of plant matter. Everything about what you just for a moment was implemented on your eyes is horrifying and wrong, and strange in some horrible way. And it burns away, and suddenly you just wake up, and you just go and blink, and look around, and you just hear, did you get a little too drunk, silly?
Do I know who's speaking?
Yeah, it's Constance.
Yeah, I think it's like possibly drunk enough to think I saw things. I just need a moment.
Absolutely. Like, all right, well, I'm going to be over there with all I'm gonna whoever that dancer is, I'm going to be over there.
I'll be
You all
back
right?
shortly, but
All right.
enjoy yourself.
And she goes off dancing, and yeah, you suddenly feel energized, like not even remotely tired. You feel like all of your energy is back.
Yeah. Do I still have my hand on the tree?
You're kind of laid up next to it. You're still
Cool.
kind of touching it.
Yeah, I think she like puts a hand on the root to see if like there's any weird shit again. Like if I need to go through this, I
Nope.
want to get rid of this now.
No, nothing weird.
Fun. Cool.
Just feels like a root.
Okay. Yeah, take a minute, get up, and like she'll probably like be on the peripheral a bit
Mm-hmm.
of the party. Kind of like taking stock of who is here and like things like that.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause like she's probably like racking her brain of like, okay, what the fuck was this? What has been weird? Like that the other thing crap the other person that has called me sister was that servant and things like that. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, okay, I don't know if I can do this now, but like I this has to get resolved before I go back to High Garden.
Uh-huh. As you say that, Ashella runs up to you and just grabs your arms, and very aggressively and bodily pulls you into the like dance around the fire.
Okay.
Do you attempt to resist at all, or
I
you're
know
going
better
with
than
it?
to resist Ashella. She's on a mission. She's probably had a
Good.
bottle or two. Yeah.
Yeah, probably 2, knowing Ashella.
Maybe
And yeah,
3.
maybe 3. Working on her 3rd. Yeah, and she pulls you into the dance. And I will say, Mariella, there is this weight that you feel is gone. as you're dancing and trying to think, you realize you're moving a lot lighter than you felt like you were before.
Okay.
You feel lighter, as if there was some pressure that has been on you, on your shoulders for like a long time, and it's just not there anymore.
Okay.
And there is this weird sensation that goes throughout your body that you feel free, I think would be the word.
Like some sort of tether got cut?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Something, let's tether, more like something was holding you down and now you don't feel it anymore.
Okay. Yeah, no. I think she'll proceed to enjoy some of the evening, but like if she could, if at all, like she sees like anybody or like whatever that she can vaguely remember, because she was in the really weird headspace when the
Yeah.
like shit went down. If
Mhm.
like she can see anybody vaguely along the lines of the person that called her sister, like she will absolutely try and engage that. Yeah,
You don't see them
that's cool.
throughout this celebration. However, we will move on from there, and we awaken the next morning. People are servants are futzing about. Everyone's trying to make sure everything is perfect, because in a few short hours, Lord Henric Weirlight will be married. And suddenly, Henric, you are startled awake as the blinds of your window are thrown open, and intense sunlight just enters your face.
How many hours of sleep did I even get last
You have
night?
no idea.
Jesus. Okay.
You feel
Can
like
I retrofitly make sure he had some milk of the poppy to knock his ass out?
Sure, yeah, no, you can definitely have done that, but he's still just like, man, you feel groggy and not the best. Yeah, you see it's your it's Septa Myrtle.
Okay.
And she's just like, all right, boy, up, come on. I think you have your duties to take care of, you have the rest of your life to enter. And she like stops in front of you, and looks down at you and goes, "You're still in bed?"
I'm getting up. I'm getting up.
Yep, several servants are coming in behind her,
Yep.
and bringing in your outfit that was specifically made for your
Yes.
wedding day, which of course you will then never wear again, because that would be awful.
Faux pas.
How could we? Yeah. Ever.
Yeah. But you will also never allowed to get rid of it. Classic. They begin to sort of like do what you've done every day, which is Henric, your family is so powerful and wealthy that you have never dressed yourself one day in your entire life.
Ever.
In fact, you're not quite aware that people can do that.
That's how all people get dressed in the morning. You kidding?
Yeah.
This is what happens. Yeah.
This is just what happens. And almost everyone here is like that too. The only people who haven't lived most of their lives like that is Nymora, and Thorsten experienced that for the first time when he went to the Maester's hall, when he was like, "Oh no, I have to dress. Oh, it's just a robe." You're just like,
Okay, easy.
Pretty much.
mm-hmm. Yep. As you're kind of being sat up, Septa Myrtle looks at you and goes, "How do you feel?"
Honestly.
Like, how about something inspiring? About your wedding is what I meant.
And I think like Henrik like wakes up for like, oh yeah, shit, that's the day. Sure, as I wake up, I'll think of something inspiring.
I think, All right. Well, all right.
I'll work on that.
Very well. Then I will. I think I will make sure your morning bath is extra cold to wake you up.
Oh, Proto, please don't. Oh.
Because I care.
A little less. That might make my bath warmer, please.
This is one of the key moments in your life, my lord. Do not cock it up. And then she will come back and kiss you on the forehead. And goes, "I'm very proud of you." And then just turn back around. So don't cock it up as she leaves. Yeah, as promised, your morning bathing is cold. It's so cold.
Son of a bitch. All right.
It's okay. It tightens the pores.
Oh.
It'll be great. Great skin.
I need that on my entire body. Okay. It's so cold.
It is very cold, but it does wake you the hell up.
Right.
You realize the grogginess is probably from the milk of the poppy you took last night, but
Listen.
you actually realize after the cold ice of the bath, and then you're being dried and dressed, you actually feel really well rested. And you feel pretty good, actually.
Right. Okay. I have full memory of what happened last night and everything, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Some things are a little hazy. Some parts of your brain that maybe were like, that probably isn't real. And
Definitely wasn't like a kid attached to a plant heart.
For my own sanity, that can't have been real.
but some equivalent of it.
Thought something. That was all I need to think about. I'm
Yep.
good.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you are getting prepared for the day. The big day. All right. Tedric and Vivian.
Yes.
You of course were up much before Henric. As is the custom. What are you two doing right now for the ceremony?
Well, I think currently double checking with Wormwood about placements for the pre-evening seating, and then changing to the dinner course, which of course then gets changed with a very large spectacle of everyone changing their seating so that it matches with the changing of the courses throughout the feast. And then also just double checking what Tedric is wearing.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you got up with him, right? Tedric naturally is an early riser, and you, Vivian, well, aren't naturally an early riser, did specifically request so this morning.
Understood. I didn't know people could be up before the sun.
Well, no, again, early riser for rich people.
We usually get up at 12.
You got up at 8 today, so it's just like,
okay.
oh my god.
There's so many more hours.
I didn't know there was an 8.
I didn't know there was a day.
Right.
I didn't know there was an 8 with the light.
Yeah. So I'll just like, Tedric, did you have a chance to speak with Henric?
About what, my dear?
Well, Henric had expressed that due to him and Ashella's engagement, that he had had some difficulty speaking with her and showing her his true intentions about wanting this union, while the foundations of it were rocky, were he wanted to be a good husband to her, and I had asked you to speak with him about how to
Yes,
be...
yes.
There we are.
I'm sorry, there's just so much going on.
There
You
is.
you did have a talk with Tedric, with Henric Tedric.
Yes, I did. I did speak with the boy, and I feel that I set aside some of his troubles.
All right, that's excellent. Now, just to change the topic entirely, are you serious about challenging any man who asks for Mariella's hand to a duel? Just curious.
Well, I have to know he's at least strong enough to protect her.
I understand, but you do know strength comes in many different forms, especially in reach houses.
Of course.
But you're still going to challenge him to a duel.
Ah, my dear, I did not say what kind of duel.
Of course. What do I know? I'm only a woman.
You're
But-
not just only a woman.
I know. All right. Well, absolutely.
And then like, my lord and lady. Oh, all right. Yep.
But other than that, just probably the only other person I'd probably want to see this early in the morning would probably be Ashella.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you know, I mean, you know where she's being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you you go to Ashella's what's it called? Room
Suite?
where she's being dressed, and of course, unlike a lot of different like traditions that we have in our world, where like, you know, a woman wears white on her wedding day, that is not true in Westerosi culture. It from what I've seen, it sort of varies from place to place, but quite often one wears actually gold on their wedding day generally. It is much more traditional. Sometimes white is like woven in, but they have less of an idea of like, it's more about the transition from one house to another than it is about from maidenhood to womanhood.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, sounds right.
Anyway.
But yeah, so she's sort of wearing this it basically is kind of like this offish like white in some places, but mostly these heavily detailed and like brocaded gold all throughout it. Like a traditional wheat wedding dress, it is not large or puffy, and and while it does have sleeves, they are gossamer thin.
Mm-hmm.
They are essentially translucent with golden like inlays throughout it in these beautiful designs. It comes up and clasps around her throat. There is a lovely window like around where her breasts are, because
Keyholes are a
That's-
thing in the reach, yeah.
yes, they are. Keyholes are a thing.
Boob window.
And you see her hair is fully up
Mm-hmm.
in this lovely design. And yeah, and you see over on the wall in this elegant silk is her family's symbol, like, you know, their house
The wedding
like
cloak.
house arm. Thank you.
Yeah.
The wedding cloak is set up on the wall. She's being placed into it, and she's having like some people like some like her handmaiden essentially like talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
And as you come in, she goes, "Oh, Lady Vivienne."
I just try not to choke up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ashella, you look divine, absolutely stunning.
She smiles and goes, "Thank you. I only wish my thank you for coming. What can I do for you?"
Nothing. I was coming to ask if there was anything I could do for you.
Oh, like, I mean, you hosting my wedding already. I think you've done everything you've been asked to.
Please, I'm soon to be your mother. I'm going to be doing so much more, and I'm happy to. I goodness, I'm going to get too sentimental and bring down the whole entire festivities. Did you enjoy your dough party with the others?
I did, very much so. It was very spirited.
Goodness, I thought I would be more prepared with if I had anything to say. I'm very happy you're going to be a part of our family, Ashella.
I was like, yes, I thank you for your kind words. Yes, I think I am determined to be happy here. Henrik seems he is determined to make good on his promise to me. I can't tell you what the promise it is. It
No,
is,
I wouldn't.
of course,
I would not dare to ask.
but
That
he seems
is-
to be determined to be a man of his word.
that is something he and his father share very much. Is that when they make a promise, they will move all the heavens and all the hells to keep it.
I think I'm starting to believe that. I like, thank you for coming. And you are kind of looking around, Vivienne, and you remember when this was happening, when you were getting you
Right.
remember your mom being in the room with you.
Almost there.
You don't see her mom here.
All right. Well, Wormwood and Orton have dictated that they have everything in handled. So there is nothing that calls to my attention. I would be happy to help you prepare, and and I'll turn to one of the servants. Go and get the special bottle of Arbor Gold.
Yeah, they'll nothing nod. Yeah. But yeah, you very, very nice. Very well.
And I just want to help her get prepared, like, because I know she has to stand there while they sew the dress on her. So
Onto her, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just, like, if she's hungry, like,
And
her,
it's
like,
very
right.
form-fitting. Like,
Yeah.
again, do not, nothing about this culture is like, oh, we mustn't show ankle. This is like,
Nah.
It's very nice. Like, very form-fitting, very shows off a
Risque.
lot.
Yeah, show off that neck. But yeah, if she's hungry, I will, like, feed her grapes and stuff so she doesn't get anything on the dress. Like, just
Yes, she appreciates that heavily. Partway through, you see walking into the room, you see her sister, Ashella,
okay.
come in, and she looks up. She goes, "Oh, hello, sister." And Ashella looks at Ashella and goes, just kind of nods at her and goes, "Well, your figure is excellently excellently shown in your dress. I looked like a stick in mine." And Ashella smiles at her. He goes, "That's not fair. That's not fair that you obviously got better tailors than me." And she goes, "Well, you have to save the best for last, sister." And Ashella goes, "Well, how are you feeling?" And Ashella goes,
Were you unwell? Sorry, interrupting.
No, that was Ashella saying that to Ashella.
Okay, sorry. I'm just
She's probably asking her that because it's her wedding day.
No,
yeah.
So sorry, I thought that was I thought Ashella was
Got you. Yeah, Ashella was just like, "How are you feeling?" And Ashella goes, content, but on the edge of anticipation. Like, and Ashella nods, and kind of goes up, and then looks over at you, Vivian, and realizes you are not the person she thought
Yeah.
was there. And she goes, "Oh, Lady Vivienne." Kind of blinks her eyes. Sorry, I thought you were my mother for a moment.
Well, I want to say
Where
something
where is
cheeky.
mother? And she just looks around, and Shell's like, I haven't the faintest idea.
Hmm.
And goes, oh. Just kind of nods. I can go find her. And she goes, I'm sure she will be found soon. And Ashelka nods. Goes, well, I just wanted to wish you luck, and you look rather beautiful. And Ashella kind of like looks at Ashelika and goes, are you all right? And she goes, I think I will be. Maybe. Do you mind if I stay? And she goes, like, you will do what you want. It goes, very well. And then she goes over and sits down and pops a grape, but doesn't say anything more as they're beginning to like size them in. But yeah. Tidrick, is there somewhere that you went off to organize and look over, or talk to any of your men, or needed to speak to someone or something?
Oh. Currently, he's just beside himself, looking in the mirror, trying to figure out what he's going to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if it's customary for him to write stuff down or if somebody else writes it down for him, but he'd be rattling off stuff, writing it down, or having somebody else write it down and go, no, trash that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you have a scribe, and like again, just like throwing another thing. He goes, like, my lord, if I may. The scribes. This is Thetan. Thetan writes most of your letters for you. You have no idea how old he is. He's just got one of those like baby faces. It's just like, if I may, you often are adept at speaking from your heart. But I know you wish to also feel well thought out and powerful, as this has all of your allies and Reachmen here. And so perhaps to help you, as we'll have to fetch some more vellum soon. If I may be so bold as to offer a suggestion in the form of a question.
I will gesture, yes.
Yeah. Like, there he goes.
As I'm staring at myself in the mirror.
He goes, when you make this speech, what is more important to you? What your countrymen hear, or what your son hears?
Tidrick will just stand there and nod. When it comes to words, you've never been lacking. And when it comes to knowing me, well, I think you nailed it on the head.
We have been doing this for quite some time, sir. I have had the privilege to get to know you through it.
Very well, and very good. I think I'm gonna go have a walk of the area.
Of course, sir.
And I will proceed just to
Mhm.
wander the halls.
Excellent. They are a bustle. They are a bustle. There's lots of activity. You see people getting ready. You see you hear the moans from the guest quarters of people throwing up near the vomitorium, and
That's what
just
it was built for.
yep. As the Reacher opt for Bacchanalian style feast. From the number of libations that have emptied your stores. Their guests you hear them moaning and groaning, coming to life as they are about to go into the part that they're all literally here for. Well, on paper, it's what they're here for. But yeah, you feel awake and alive, and there is an energy about the place of anticipation and excitement. And as you walk through, there is this sort of knowledge in you that all you see before you, everyone who runs by you, all the halls, the art, the tapestries, it is yours. For now, as it was your father's and his father and his father and his uncle, you think, and then and then his father. um uh Line of succession is sometimes wibbly, but you do reel that, and then you think maybe one of the first times, if I maybe see the bold, that your son is getting married today, and soon you will pass it. Well, soon, sooner than you've ever once thought. You will eventually pass it to him. And I don't know. I don't know if that is a sobering thought for Tiedric, a warm thought. Only Tiedric knows.
I would probably say a bit of both.
A bit of both.
But more so warm.
Yes.
Warming.
And when you were younger, when you were Henric's age, getting married, a big thing in your mind, besides of how lucky you felt and how in love you were, was you were worried that you will never be able to contribute to this land and to the family what your forebears had. That you, for some reason, had been a dud heir because of your sort of life until that point. And I will say, though, thinking back, from this exact moment to the point of your marriage, what you have done for this family. And though you are a structured man, a humble man in many ways, especially in moments of privacy, you literally cannot help but think of your deeds and accomplishments, which are many, actually. You've won battles in war where on your side lost every battle that you weren't in. And every battle you were in, you won. In fact, you cannot think of a defeat you've ever been handed to you. It's always felt maybe at moments that things would go bad, but you realize that your latest war, where you jumped into the fray literally, with absolutely no fear or hesitation. And you know, when you were younger, you would have had a lot of fear and hesitation. Before your first major battle, you were hesitant. But the moment you got into it, you committed. And you realize the only reason you have so little hesitation in all things in your life now is because you know of how competent you are. And you are. In fact, you are looking at things to try to state now, I believe. If you tell me if I'm reading Teacher wrong, I feel like feel like the way you've been nodding that I've been kind of getting Teacher right. That you're sort of looking now for reasons that would make you a bad lord. What are your faults, your small things? And you realize that every time you felt lacking as lord, you've asked for help from one of your small council that would have the answer, and they did. Often they're not from Clarissa or Nero or Cedric or your own wife, Vivian. Or your brother, Thorsten. If there was a question you didn't have the answer for, or something you didn't feel qualified to know or do, you asked for help. And I would say so, yes. Quite a good small council. And you know, you couldn't have done a lot of things without them, but it is hard to put yourself out of that thought as well. For you being you is what put your family here. I mean, hell, you just by yourself negotiated a trade deal with the premier tradesman of the Reach. In fact, you completely hornswoggled him by playing on the fact that he's a doting father. But you yourself know that you haven't quite hornswoggled him. You won't give him a bad trade. You're an honorable man. Like, you can trust yourself. And here you are, thinking of what to say at your son's wedding, which you always feared you would never see. In the beginning, because you thought no one would marry you. Then you thought you could never have a child because of the problems that you and Vivian had. And then from the numerous battles and wars you were in. And very recently, the schemes against your family, the poisons that have entered your households, all the things that you've overcome, and were always terrified that even if you ever had a child, you would not have a legacy to leave them or show them. But you realize now you have quite a grand and impressive one. And you see, and all of that goes to your mind as you walk the halls of your halls. You left the part that was your father's. You realize the stone you're undering are the stones you laid. This is your hall, and it is yours to give. Wasn't your father's, this part you're in now, the one that everyone enjoys.
I'm gonna go and visit my son.
Okay. Absolutely. Henric?
Yes.
I will briefly say, as you go there, Thorsten, I do want to say,
Yes.
my dude, when you wake up finally, which it is very much like a, like it's just a quick
startled awake.
of like, what am I
Hold
not
on,
doing? There's
okay,
something I'm not doing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
much like how you woke up today.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I imagine that quick, like, sharp leg jerk kind of thing. It's like
Yeah,
literally
like,
propelling you up.
Yeah. And then you look around, you're like, wait, no, it's fine. Everything's
That's
fine.
good.
Wait. I can relax.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, you realize it's done. you guess whatever happened, and we're all still here. And you hear activity downstairs, and you hear the calls of animals and horses way down below, and you realize you actually went to bed in your bed, which you haven't done in a while.
I have a bed.
You're like, oh yeah, it's really comfy.
Do I feel like I slept great or
Yeah,
like
you felt like you slept great.
okay? Well then I'm gonna get up, put on my my finest maester robes,
Yeah,
and
finally we get to see him.
go about my day to help with the wedding and everything else because I feel great and there's nothing that
Yeah.
feels off.
You
Yep,
do have to feed your snake man in a pit. Don't forget your pet.
He has
Oh, of
people
course.
for that. He has people
Yeah.
for that. But Thorsten, but you do. There is sort of a customary. You do sort of have to look over Henric before his wedding to make sure he's okay. You got to give him his physical.
Yeah, well, of course. That's
Mhm.
something I would obviously had to
Pre-wedding
start doing
physical.
since I'm
Mhm.
I'm awake and
Mhm.
ready to get the day started.
Yep. So, Henrik, as your under linens are being like set out and you're fully clean and things are doing, yep.
very nice.
Thorsten walks in. He's in his finest robes.
Cool.
You can actually tell
Hey.
that they seem to be a lighter color.
Nice.
Not as worn.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Hey, Uncle. Everything okay?
Everything feels okay.
Okay, good. Thought it was just me.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm here to give you your physical.
Yeah. It's nothing. It's nothing. too
Sure,
invasive.
yeah.
You're checking his mouth and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. He seems okay. We don't even need to roll. Just your dice are so
My passive?
disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
Passive?
passive is
and
ridiculous.
I have to roll for how buff I was. I was like, yeah, we don't have to roll for that. I'm good.
Nope. Yeah, so yeah, he seems healthy, seems fine. Yeah, you kind of give him the clean bill of health, and that's when Tiedric walks in. Yeah, Henrik, you see your father walks in. Tiedric, you see your son on his wedding day.
You notice that Tiedric's face looks at peace.
Like, let's nod to him.
Nod back. Nod to Thorsten,
Brother.
brother. So how is he?
Healthy as a horse.
Yes,
I'll-
Henrik.
Going out soon to make sure last minute preparations are done and everything. Is there everything all right? Do they need me for anything yet? Should I wait or
They haven't said anything about needing you just yet, which gives us some time to talk. I remember
I-
back when. Yes.
As you say that, I bow my head and I say I will take my leave.
Sure, there's
As you
really
will.
nothing. Yeah, okay. I will. Yeah. Sit down. You know, I'm assuming someone else is dressing me, but for that.
I just give a look to the people who are dressing you, and they'll notice, step back and or step out of the room for a
Come on.
moment.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, they'll just gather their materials and leave. Yeah.
And I will pull up a chair.
time for the
Son.
talk, Henrik.
I feel like I know most of the stuff. Yeah.
Back when I was your age,
God.
first getting married to your mother, I was extremely nervous. I thought that out of all the heirs that we've had in our family, that I was a dud. That I was the one that would not contribute anything. Wouldn't be able to surpass or even match the ones before me. And looking back, I know that it wasn't. I wasn't confident that I had the ability to do most anything. Uh, but I was. I just needed to see it. How others saw me. How your mother saw me. You are brilliant. You are strong. And whether you think so or not, you've got a good head on your shoulders. But the most important part is not to only rely on yourself. You must rely on those around you as well. As you see, I turned to your mother, I turned to Clarissa, I even turned to my brother. Naimora! I've even turned to Mariella for help. And I've turned to you for help. And you've never disappointed. I want you to know that you have resources available to you. So if you don't have the answer, you can reach out. Do not be afraid to reach out and ask for help. I always have. And it's done me well so far. Done me very well. And you. And our family. So, just know, if you ever need anything, all you have to do is ask.
Henrik just kind of like looks down for a bit, especially once Tidro says that he has been proud of him these past few weeks, and just look like I know that, Father, and wish I would have learned that sooner.
I wish I would have told you sooner.
I wouldn't have thought you were invincible and could wrong as a lord or as a husband or father, and I kept thinking I was going to fall short of that. Looking at you. And knowing now how much this family, how much you Lord need other people, I just wish I had known more what had gone into it, and I would have had more respect for what you do, but also I would have maybe been able to think I could be capable of that early on. I know that now, and I'm more than you can ever know grateful for in our family, the people that care and support us. You had told me earlier. Now, that let me know that I I will do a good job at this, at being a husband and one day being a lord. I have really good role models. My best.
As a Weirlight, know that we can move mountains. We can do anything we set our minds to. But we must always trust those around us.
Fine.
Know that that's why I have Nymora here. I mean, she's a Dornish bastard, but she proved her skill. She proved that she could do what she's been doing all these years. That is the one thing I wish to impart upon you. Do not go by what people are. Go by who they are.
Nods and I'm going to need all the help I can get, so. Nice.
I think you'll do just fine. As I place my hand on his shoulder, and I will stand up, put my arm out to help him up.
Like grab it, do that like the guy thing, like the forearm.
Yeah.
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 Her handshake.
I will pull him up, look him over, straighten out his shoulders,
Good.
straighten his
Alright.
back a bit. Also, try to puff up a little. It always makes a good impression.
Of course, yeah.
And I will nod to Henric and then take my leave.
Okay. There we go. Love it. Nymora.
Hello.
Hello. Where do we see you at this time?
Have I been released from my prison?
Have you been released?
Have I been released
No.
from the sick bay?
No. Do you want? Can you leave? Always. You have
Yeah.
the station. You can't be held there.
Thorsten's not there.
But
Nothing can hold me.
Thorsten's not there,
Mhm.
and he can't keep you there. So you can just like. Yeah. So you
Like-
could have left and gotten. I mean, you still have your wounds and what now, but you can still very much wear an outfit or a dress or something because you know the wedding is today, and you are.
I put some pillows underneath the blanket so that it looks like I'm still there. But yeah, I think that Nymora is also getting herself ready for the wedding because
Yeah.
I don't have anybody to help me. So this takes twice as long.
Yeah, I mean, technically, you do actually.
Mhm.
You have the servants who can definitely help you. Also, you realize how do knights in the field do this if they're all used to it, and then you're just like squires is how they
I
do
need
it.
to be a squire.
You realize I need a squire. Like
I need some
Henric,
small child.
Henric has a squire, and like all these people have squires, and you're like, that's what I need. A squire.
There's a lot more to being a knight than there's no manual. There's not a book. Not that I can read them that well, but but I am trying to get myself ready and just like braiding my hair.
What are you we can just say you're ready. What are you dressed in for the wedding?
So Nymora is actually wearing like it's a mix of armor and a dress.
Sure. Why not?
I mean it's mostly her her leather her like normal leathers that have the the Weirlight flowers that are worked into the leather, and there's splashes of dyed.
Are these your dress
It's
leathers?
the dress leathers, yeah.
Yeah.
But I've instead of wearing like greaves and pants, it's like this skirt that just sort of like comes down one leg. It like covers just enough of like down to make it look like you're not naked, but more like trails down one leg that makes it look like cascading like flower petals in like
Nice.
kind of golds and reds.
Very nice.
This is what I'm not being without armor. Again, I've learned my lesson.
Sure.
And just thinking is just like this is the combination of what I am is that I can wear a dress, but I'm also not giving up my armor.
Okay. Sure. Why not? Yeah, so what are you doing at this time? Everyone's seemingly running around and getting ready. The nobles aren't like quite coming down yet. There's some out in the fields and stuff, but like no one's quite it's not quite time yet to start sitting down.
Thinking wistfully of the journey that I cannot enter.
Very much so.
But just getting myself ready and just I would like to go and find my father if he's here.
Okay. Yeah.
If there are members of his house here.
Yeah, you're not sure exactly where they're staying. You can try like the breakfast area first, see if any of them got up. And if you do try the breakfast area, you see your dad.
Just smile breaks across my face.
You see him. He's across like a bench table, and the man who he's across from, you recognize to be your uncle, who is the the castellan of the Red Keep. He seems to be here with your father. They are talking. And smiling. They seem like up, they're dressed, and all that. Most of the other Dornishmen are 1,000% not. And in fact, most of the nobles aren't down here. Some are, just like a smattering. By a smattering, I mean like 20, because there is an insane amount of guests. But yeah, like all breakfast services for this many people, there's just a giant buffet. And you see your father, who is just eating definitely like bacon that is just barely been touched by heat. Like that's the floppiest bacon. Your father never liked like well seared meats. He always ate everything rare. And
I honestly find this more distressing.
You've never once empathized with this feeling whatsoever. Your uncle though is a sane person, and his bacon is like charred slightly. And
okay, it's if I approach, do they?
Yeah, if you approach not quietly, if you approach to be heard, your father will turn. And his eyes will raise and he will stand up. And he goes, Naimura.
What's something?
I
just like do the respectful.
Yeah, bows, and then we'll come and give you a hug.
This is everything that I've wanted in life.
Yeah, it's not like a big friendly hug, but it is like it's a real hug.
And I wince because there's like an hatchet wound in my shoulder.
Yeah. And he looks at that and he's just like, you're wounded, are you all right? What happened?
Nothing that won't heal. Just the line of duty.
He looks concerned.
I am covered in scars. It's nothing, or it will be nothing at least. Some of the best maesters in all of Westeros are here in this castle today.
Nods. He goes, spoken like a true knight.
I-
Will you join us for breakfast?
I was going to ask. Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
and yeah, your uncle. Oh, what's his name?
oh, it's
Old. Where is he?
it
Aaron.
is
Aaron
Aaron.
Santagar. That's it. So yeah. Yeah. So your uncle Sir Aaron
Mhm.
and he just goes, oh, like Sir Namora, you look much more like a woman since the last time I've seen you.
I think the last time that he saw me was when I was a child, so
Yeah, you were like 14.
Yeah.
You were like 14, 15.
Mhm.
He goes, I thought you were a little boy when I first met you.
Time ravages us all.
He goes, he just kind of shrugs. Say that. Go.
But
Yeah.
it is a pleasure to see you again.
Like, oh, that's good to hear.
It-
Like,
how has everybody from the donors parties been faring?
they kind of look at each other
Mhm.
and they're like, well, it's not as if we socialize very heavily.
No, but how is
Um,
it? No one has given you any trouble?
No.
Good.
No one has given us trouble. Our friendship with the Martells have always kept all of their spiteful thoughts in their heads instead of on their tongues when we are around. I'm sure they've said something to some degree at some point in this castle, but the halls are many and vast, and who has time or care to pay attention to all of them?
Yes, but it is my earnest hope that these coming together might be able to foster, I don't know, some further bonds of friendship between Dorne and the Reach.
They sort of look at each other and goes, maybe. The house you serve definitely have been gracious hosts. Though I think there is more bad blood on your side of the field than on ours.
Yes, but someone must extend a hand, and if I can, I will. If nothing else, I think that there would be some trade opportunities between us that might be useful.
Well, not, I think Simon, your father goes, well, not for our house.
No, you are too far.
Well, we don't trade.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know the Santagar family doesn't like have an export or anything.
No, they kind of are there.
They
They're
just
too-
exist and get money
They're
from their people.
They're just kind of too far. They're too far out there. There's not really anything out there.
They are. I mean, they're all on the coast, right? So it's
Mhm.
just like it's shoals and their people just sort of like make money and then like
Mhm.
give it to them, and you know, there's not really an export or a great thing. House Santagar is not really one of the great houses of Dorne.
But
As you know, the head of the house is a knight and not a
Mhm.
lord.
but I wanted to ask also, did you get my letter?
Oh, yes, I did. I did get your letter. Well, so the answer is actually, more, I know you sent a letter. Unfortunately, my wife seemed to have found it first and deemed that it would not be appropriate that I read it. I find this rather impertinent. So I do not know what the contents of it was, as it was not whole when I came upon it.
Ah,
I was hoping you would enlighten me.
that does sound like her.
You not.
I was hoping to ask your help in finding a husband.
It just nods.
But I see now that, well, I don't know. Do you find that impertinent?
No, I do not find that impertinent. I will say I'm confused that you asked me, not because of I do not know why you would ask me to help you find a husband. Whatever way you could find a husband is from your own merit and not from the word of a coastal low knight.
A coastal low knight that I value the opinion of.
You may value my opinion, but it is not as if the rest of Dorne does.
I do not. Well, I do not. I should not say I do not care about the rest of Dorne, because I do. But it's I see.
Like, I do not know what I can do for you. Most of the eligible young knights that I know who would want to marry are definitely looking for
marry up.
Well, of course, they're young and ambitious. They very much wish to marry up, or are men who I would not want you near.
Oh, that is saying something. All right. Well,
I can put the word out, but you are, for all intents and purposes, a reach knight. Which you should wear proudly.
Ever have I straddled the line between two kingdoms?
Those kingdoms do not accept straddling, Nymora. The Dornishmen will not see you as Dornish, and I'm sure the Reach hasn't quite seen you as, I think as fully Reach always. But the truth of the matter is, your blood doesn't mean anything when it comes to where you are a knight of. Your loyalties do. And you cannot straddle loyalties.
Being a knight is far harder than I thought.
It is
worth it.
It is one of the hardest things that can be done in this world.
I don't regret it, though.
I didn't think you did. You seem to wear it well.
I'm trying. But thank you for making the offer, if nothing else.
I can put the word out that you wish to marry, but I just don't believe that you would want the men that I know of who would marry you.
That is fair.
I mean, I don't pretend to know your interests, but I do know that you wish to be a knight. That you are.
Truth be told, my interest is that I want the child. That is all. But I want to give them. I want to give them what I couldn't have. Just looking directly at him.
Yeah, he goes, nods. He goes, I understand. Well, then it does seem like you must find a husband. Well, then do not ask me. All the husbands I would know of would demand you leave service and come there. Would you be willing to leave the service of the Weirlights for a child? To forego the oaths you've sworn?
I think there is some small part of me that thinks I would, but it is so small. After everything that I have done to get here, I don't think that I could give it up for anything.
Well, then you must marry here in the Reach, and I know no Reach knights save you.
All of the Reach knights that I know of either already married or married to their jobs.
Like, it just kind of shrugs and goes, well, if you seem to want the best of two worlds in a way that no one really has ever wanted that. So, just kind of things. If you want to still be a knight and stay in service, but also have a husband, and a child, if you are in service,
I know. It is
difficult. So you
a
would have
great
to
fantasy.
you would have to find a man who would be willing to be with you in that same service and willing to have children with you and respect the fact that you are a knight. I don't know of many men like that. I hope you find one, though.
Thank you.
And I hope you don't settle for anything less than that.
Well,
you've already achieved what you wanted, what others said you could not have. There's no reason that you should stop at one. If you were to ask me.
See, I told you that I valued your opinion.
Shrugs.
Thank you. And thank you for letting me join you for a time, but I do have to go and make sure that there are other things that I have to make sure that are still ready for the wedding, and also have to go get my dressings changed at some point.
I see.
But please let me know. Please let any of us know if anybody gives you any trouble. It will be dealt with swiftly.
Very well.
And I will I'll lean forward and I will hug him first.
Oh, nice. Yes, he will pat you on the back.
Thank you, Father.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, excellent. Before we cut to break, we merely see a dark room. The shades are drawn. It's definitely a bedroom, and we hear the unified sound of many figures breathing. The rhythm of sleep. It sounds like many people are asleep in the same room. and the door sort of comes open, and from the light from outside coming in, we see that the figure is oh my gosh, wow, really, Tony? Just lost her name. Super important character. Just fully lost her name to your brain, didn't you? Wow.
Are they from the Reach?
Yes, of course. Yeah, no,
Start shouting names.
It's Clarissa's sister.
Oh, Catalina.
Catalina, thank you. My God, my brain. Yeah, we see it's Catalina. And she's dressed. She goes, I just want and as the light hits, we see on the bed, in under the covers, in a raised way, we see Jaren. He still has like his bandages over his throat and chest. He is kind of sat up against beds, but definitely still asleep, curled up directly next to him. We see it's kind of sat just like on his side, up, also asleep. We see little Caleb, and curled up on like onto the side of Jaren, and also supporting Caleb on the other side. We see also dead to the fucking world, Clarissa, Clarissa Birchsong. We see the Birch Songs, all three of them, just dead to the world, and they look very content. And Catalina is like, oh, and even opening the door, which normally would absolutely stir someone like either Jaren or Clary, not this evening. Not this morning.
You're gonna fucking sleep whether you want to or not.
And she goes, oh, and she kind of like looks out the window. She looks at the sun and is like, it can be a bit longer. And she just like comes in and closes the door. And that is where we'll take our break. When we get back, we will have the wedding ceremony and the libations and celebrations of thereafter. And it will be totally cool, and there will be nothing scary whatsoever.
Yeah, sure we trust you and all the words that come out of your mouth.
Yep.
Do that.
So you should come back for that, for good times, and celebrations, and we'll get to see a wedding ceremony. All right, see you guys in 15 minutes. Just drink water, like bathroom break, all that good stuff. Stand up, maybe stretch your back for a little bit. Yeah, see you then.